Good afternoon, everybody. This is Steve with Real Progressives. I'm coming to you with a heavy heart as terrorism has struck New Zealand. This is not new to those of us, around the world, but New Zealand has largely been, they have not had to deal with such things like this. 49 people were gunned down in cold blood in mosques in New Zealand yesterday. And here we are sitting here wondering, what to do with this. And all I can say is that the people that suffer from this, the violence that occurs, this is white supremacy once again. This is another situation of white supremacy and the white nationalist type violence that largely goes unchecked. And to put an exclamation point on it, Donald Trump tweeted his deepest sympathies to those who had been harmed, while simultaneously 5 seconds later complaining about the Mueller investigation. I don't know what to say about that other than the fact that, Donald Trump is obviously somebody who does not have the interests of the people. It's just an amazing thing. But I want to go through this with you all real quick. Said at least 49 people were killed in mass shootings at 2 mosques full of worshippers attending Friday prayers on what the Prime Minister called one of New Zealand's darkest days. 1 man arrested and charged with murder in what appeared to be a carefully planned racist attack. Police also defused explosive devices in a car. 2 other armed suspects were being held in custody. Police said that they were trying to determine how they might be involved. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said the events in Christchurch represented an extraordinary and unprecedented act of violence, and that many of the victims could be migrants or refugees. It's clear that this can only be described as a terrorist attack, Ardern said. In addition to dead, health officials said 48 people were being treated at Christchurch Hospital for gunshot wounds. Injuries ranged from minor to critical. Police took 3 men and a woman into custody after the shootings, which shocked people across the nation of 5 million people. Police later said one of the arrests didn't relate to the shootings. While there was no reason to believe there were more suspects, Ardern said national security threat level was being raised from low to high, the second highest level. National carrier Air New Zealand canceled at least 17 flights in and out of Christchurch, saying it couldn't properly screen customers and their baggage following the shootings. Police said the investigations had extended 240 miles to the south, where the homes in Dunedin and evacuated around location of interest. A police statement gave no further details of how it might be linked to the attacks. Authorities have not specified who they detained, but said none had been on any watch list. A man who claimed responsibility for the shootings left a 74-page anti-immigrant manifesto in which he explained who he was and his reasoning for the attack. He said he was a 28-year-old white Australian and a racist. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison confirmed that one of the people detained was an Australian-born citizen. Police Commissioner Mike Bush said Friday night that a man had been charged with murder. He did not say whether the police believed the same shooter was responsible for both attacks. Now, what I want to do is take a quick moment to talk to you all about the fact that so much of the racism in society today, so much of the anti-immigrant impulse is prevalent not only in the United States, but is prevalent in societies around the world, stems from austerity, stems from the scarcity and the fear of being displaced, fear of losing whatever it is that they may have gained as others come in and enjoy the fruits of society. There is a genuine fear across the board, and wherever you see austerity, wherever you see poverty, you see this sort of violence spring forth. It's not unusual, unfortunately. It may be unusual in New Zealand, but we've seen it throughout the Middle East. We've seen it in the United States. We've seen it all over the world. Violence is unfortunately a natural outcome of desperation. And this disgusting racism, this disgusting anti-immigrant, xenophobic mindset of many, not just in the United States, but around the world, is something that is purposely driven. It's purposely created. It's part of a neoliberal world order. And it is part of the plan to keep people divided, to keep things feeling scarce, to keep people desperate, and to keep people fighting over table scraps. And it creates otherness. It's part of fascism. It's a deep-seated part of fascism to create scapegoats. And if it's not the Muslims, maybe it'll be the Christians. If it's not the Christians, maybe it'll be the atheists. If it's not the atheists, maybe it'll be the homosexuals. If it's not the homosexuals, maybe it'll be the African Americans or the Mexicans. You get the picture. There's always a scapegoat. And as we watch a changing world, as we watch climate change, and as we watch markets depress, and we watch financial situations across the globe become less and less prosperous, and we see people holding on for dear life to whatever concept of okay life they had, it's my belief that you're going to see more and more violence. It's my belief that, unfortunately, until we rectify this mindset, that this won't be the last time we see an act of violence of this nature. So it's with a heavy heart that I pass my condolences to the victims of the shootings in New Zealand. And it's with a deep sadness that I say, I don't think this is going to be the last time, unfortunately. I'm Steve Grumbine with Real Progressives. Have a good day, everybody.